The little glances you take at your phone when your notifications go off distract you way more than you think. And here's why you should turn off your notifications and implement the D&D lifestyle. You need to allow yourself to get into a state of flow and deep work. When you're writing a paper or when you're working out and you're constantly hearing ding, 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 it takes away all your attention and all your focus from the task at hand. This can simply just dramatically reduce the efficiency of the work, and it just reduces how much you can actually output, how much productivity is actually in your hours. Because there's times when I'm, for example, writing a script for one of these videos and a little notification goes off if I don't have D&D on. Bro, I look at it, I kind of get distracted, I swipe up, I maybe save my response, and then maybe another notification pops up, and then I click, click, click. Next thing you know, I'm kind of on Instagram doing a little bit of scrolling, doing a little bit of DM work. And I'm shifting away from the work that I've actually started to do. And therefore, the output in what I was originally doing goes down. Right, so you need to understand that it takes 15 to 30 minutes to actually end up in a place of flow when it comes to work. You ever been, swimming or I don't know, doing something at school, writing a paper or whatever, and all of a sudden 15-20 minutes in, you kind of just going nicely, getting into a state of flow where you're just kind of really present in the task and you're really focused. That's what you want to happen every single time you sit at your desk, you do your work, or you go to the gym and you do your workout. And turning off those notifications will simply mitigate the problem of losing focus during any task that you do. Use D&D properly. I personally use D&D to keep my focus in one place. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people use it to actually stack notifications. Bro, because obviously those notifications give you a dopamine hit. Every single time you get a Snapchat or da-da-da-doom from Instagram or a ding from your text, those give you all the dopamine stimulation. But over time, we get a little desensitized to these notifications. So what do? We put it on D&D and an excuse that too many notifications are going off. But when you swipe up and you check it and you see a list of notifications, you start over flooding your dopamine receptors with stimulation. And we subconsciously do this, and maybe that's something you need to wake up to now, because I've noticed I do this sometimes too. And I honestly do it as more of a reward. The more notifications that I see, okay, I earned that dopamine. So don't just sit there and do other unproductive things while those notifications stack up. Maybe do some work outside of your phone, so then when you come back to your phone and you see all those notifications, you earn that shot of dopamine. That's something that you should probably try to implement. You need to remember that your attention is the top currency right now that all these social media apps are fighting for. So you need to protect it at all costs and make sure you don't sell your attention to other people in terms of their monetization. Utilize the tools that your phone gives you. I'll use Apple, for example, because I have an iPhone and iPhone's top notch, but whatever. Apple lets you, they've done a lot of updates with the focus thing that popped up. You can really customize the way your do not disturb works, or whatever times, even location based. Like me personally, D&D turns off every time I leave my home, because my house right now is obviously my office. So every time I leave my home, notifications are allowed because that's obviously for safety reasons. You never know what's really going to happen, and you can filter out certain contacts. So obviously I have my mom, my dad, different business partners, different people I'm in constant communication with. They're going to be coming in. Those notifications are going to be coming in. But other apps that are kind of distracted, I either turn off the notifications in settings, or I don't allow those apps or those contacts to come through while I'm on do not disturb for those exact reasons. They don't deserve my attention, right, when I'm doing it with things that actually matter. So filter out those specific contacts and apps that are important, but mute everything else. Every notification gives you a shot of dopamine. We all know that famous ding. Bro, that shit gives me chills. I'm not even lying, bro. It almost it controls my emotions. And I guess I'll get a little bit personal here with you, but back in 2019 when my dad passed away, I obviously used to smoke a lot of weed. And when I did receive texts during that season in my life, I always got a little bit of anxiety, okay, who's texting me? What's the problem now? Because obviously I lost my grandma and I lost my dad in that same time period. So the text messages that I was receiving, they weren't really ever good ones, to be honest. So yeah, those kind of things, it gives me anxious. That's one reason why I kind of don't like notifications. I don't like getting phone calls, because again, phone calls, that even gives me anxiety, because it's just really triggering. So sometimes notifications may be triggering, and if you notice that, bro, if you notice you get a little bit scared when someone texts you, maybe you should turn off your notifications for a period of time to just really kind of sit in your thoughts. Besides the point, when someone's reaching out to you on social media, it kind of makes you feel like you're popular, you have friends, or when someone reaches out to you in general, it kind of boosts your ego a little bit. It floods your brain with dopamine, as we now know. And then when it's not active, it's kind of the other way around. That's why we kind of get so sad when our phones dry, because every time we do get notifications, it gives you a sense of company. It gives you a sense of being wanted. And when it's the other way around, it gives you a sense of loneliness and not being wanted. And this can actually lead us down a dark, depressive hole of, being depressed, because we have a lack of engagement on these social media apps or on our phones. Once you realize that there's more to life than the simple dopamine shots that these apps give you, you will enjoy yourself a lot more. Lastly, bro, notifications are okay to a certain extent. Okay, but you don't really need to know. You don't need to know when somebody you follow liked a specific post. But once I seen that those kind of Instagram notifications were coming up, I just turned off Instagram notifications all in general. So if anything, I always go and check Instagram if I need to. Okay, but you don't need to know certain things like Gym Heroes just posted a new thing on Snapchat stories. Check it out now. You don't need to know all that shit, bro. You don't. Get busy in your own work, okay? And once you do silence your phone and you kind of get away from notifications, you're going to realize how much your daily activities rely on other people's daily activities. For example, somebody calls you, you're in a reactive state. Say you're typing up a paper or something, someone calls you, ring ring ring, hey man, I need you to send me this, or do you check out that post on Instagram, or send me this through Instagram, I need You send someone something through Instagram, now you're on Instagram, and you start scrolling. You're gonna realize that you live in a much more reactive state than you think. You react and you don't really respond to certain things. When you get that phone call and someone says, can you do this? Can you be like, okay, just give me 15 minutes and then I'll get to that task. Don't let other people's activities, whether that be Instagram influencers, people posting on YouTube, and when you get notifications, don't let that steal you away from your purpose and your life and your focus. Okay? So just take control over your own mind, take control over your attention and focus now, because that's what you need nowadays. So, love you, bro. Start off tomorrow strong, G. Peace.